Hey ladies, I've never really shared my testimony on this page or much of who I am or what has made me the way that I am today, and so I thought that it was time, and it's been on my heart the last couple of days, and I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys. So Florida was amazing. My trip to Florida really, truly changed my life. I think everyone should go to that internship. I think you should save your money. I think you should forego vacations or anything else to make it to that trip. I think it should be a priority because it changes lives. But while I was there, one of the coolest things happened. So for about 10 years now, I have operated out of a spirit of abandonment, as well as just I've had a ton of hurt. And it started to manifest as some unforgiveness and bitterness. And so really over the past 6 years, 5 or 6 years, God has taken me through different levels of healing. And I went through some healing through a program called Transformations with a friend who was trained in it. And that brought a lot of healing. And then another friend of mine took me through something else that was a little bit deeper. And that got me to a completely different level. And then Florida sealed the deal. A friend had been telling me, because she said, do you think that you're completely healed from that? Do you have heard about that? And I said, well, I mean, you're never going to be completely healed from those things, right? I mean, it's always going to affect you. And she said, no. Do you think that Jesus came so that you could partially walk in healing, so that you could kind of be okay with what happened? Or do you think he came to fully and completely heal hurts and pains? And I was like, I believe fully. And she said, yes. And she was right. Because after Florida, I will never be the same, but something happened in Florida, and I want to share it. So, these past few years in dealing with the hurt, and really I had got the forgiveness I had gotten over. I had really forgiven. The bitterness wasn't there, but the hurt was still there. And as much as I tried to get rid of it, just I couldn't get rid of it. And in Florida, one of the things that we had to go through, she got up and she said, to be a completely effective minister, you can't operate out of pain, you can't operate out of hurt or spirit of abandonment or anything like that, because if you do that, then you're always going to be through the lens of hurt. You're always going to be operating out of through a lens of hurt or pain or whatever that you had dealt with. And so we need to get that healed so that you can be as effective in the ministry as you're wanting to be. And so they stood up and they said, if you have any mother or father wounds, I want you to stand up. And so I did, because that's where most of my hurt, well, all of it mainly, has come from. And so she said, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna apologize on your mom's behalf. And mind you, she knew nothing that had happened to me. I hadn't said one word about any of the hurt or pain. And so she said, someone's going to come minister to you. Well, a woman stood in front of me who didn't know anything about me. She had met me for the first time that week. And she just starts speaking, and it is so clearly God, because I hadn't told her anything, and she just starts saying, I just want to apologize to you for not being there when you had your babies in the hospital, and for missing baptisms and birthday parties. And well, I just start weeping. I lose it. Weeping is really an understatement. Just wailing, crying I've never cried before. It was uncontrollable crying. And she kept going. I honestly don't know what else she said. It didn't matter, because at that point, God had my heart. And I was laying on the floor just weeping. And the Lord came and he whispered in my ear and he said, for these past 8 years, you've been crying for your pain, for your hurt, and begging me to take that and asking me to intercede. And he said, I'm going to do that today. And he said, I'm going to take that hurt out of your heart. And I don't know how else to explain it, but I literally felt him take a piece of my heart out. It was the coolest thing. No pain, but just I felt him take a piece of my heart out. And he said, I'm taking this pain, it's gone, and I'm putting in a piece of my heart. And it is going to be a heart for souls. And you are no longer going to weep for your own pain, but you're going to weep for the lost. And you're going to cry out for the lost. And you're going to bring them to me. And in that moment, something switched. And I was still crying. And now it was for God's heart. For the heart of souls. For the chains that were still on the other people in my life that I could see, and the bondage and the strongholds. And I was weeping now for their souls. And it was just the coolest, most awesome experience I've ever had. But the pain was completely gone. And for 8 years, really 9, almost 10, I'd been just consumed with this pain, and it was gone completely. No more pain, no more tears. Like, even when I saw them, that pain was gone. I just loved them in this way that I had never been able to love them before. And it was because God had given me a piece of his heart. He had taken mine and given me a piece of his. And now, you know that song, Break My Heart for What Breaks Yours? It was literally, I had a piece of his heart, and the things that broke his heart broke mine. And that was the lost, and that was people. And it wasn't my own pain or hurts. It was what was happening to the Lord's people that didn't know him like they should. And it has changed my life, and I see people in a different way, and I see life in a different way. And all I want is for everyone to know Jesus the way that I know Jesus, and love Jesus the way that I love Jesus. And I want to show them and teach them what it feels like. And I just wanted to share that with you, because I feel like everyone in some way or another needs a heart transplant. We need a piece of our heart removed, and ask for a piece of God's, because when you get his heart, then everything else just comes into perspective, and you can see things the way he sees things, and it just changes, and it's amazing. And so I'm praying that for you guys today, for a heart transplant, that God would take a piece of your heart and replace it with his, because you'll never be the same. You guys have a good day. Bye.